All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. We have France Theriault with us, and she is a traumatic brain injury bloomer. She wasn't always a bloomer. In 2013, she was an athletic mom who had discovered a passion for cycling, enjoying long cycling rides in the countryside, riding solo or with friends. A tragic cycling accident altered her life and invited her on a new journey. She lost herself for many years. The person she was looking at in the mirror resembled her, however, inside was a mess. Depression, indecisiveness, anxiety, and overwhelmed by everything and anything, collapsing more than once. She believed this tragedy was an invitation to reassess her life, to look with her green eyes at her moral values and guiding principles, editing them over and over until she was done editing. So welcome, France. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for welcoming me in your community. I think it's going to be a great evening, and please feel free to ask questions and participate, when we have a chance. So I would like to start by sharing the screen. So as I said in the presentation that I wrote, oh, sorry, this is not the right one. Oh, why? Okay, I think we seem to have a problem because now I see the person likes, but I'm not able to move the, oh, yeah, sorry, it's okay. So it's an invitation, as I said, to a self-exploration process. Since day one, after receiving the traumatic brain injury diagnostic, I believe wholeheartedly that it happens for me and not to me. And I would like to elaborate a little bit about that. I feel that I was not living authentically and in integrity with myself. I was like a mom. I have two children at the time. My youngest was 14 and the eldest was 21. The 21 was at university and the 14 was at home with me and my partner. And since a few years prior to the accident, I was in a process of kind of looking like, what could I do? Like, who could I be? Like, I wanted to be someone else than just a mom or a partner. I was looking for kind of an identity on my own, and I was not really happy in my marriage. But I was not ready to take the leap and leave my marriage. I had lots of privilege in this relationship, and I was with my partner for many, many years. And I couldn't see, I will be able to do it without impacting the life of my children. So I believe that it happened for me in a sense that, it invited me to look really at myself and said, okay, now that you have a second chance, what are you going to do with this second lease on life, and how are you going to move forward, living more like in alignment with yourself? So I didn't know anything at that time what this alignment and what I was going to discover, but I really felt that it was a wonderful time to reflect on this. So, as I said, this process started in 2013, and it was the beginning of a beautiful journey, mostly a spiritual journey. So I took an opportunity to look at my value and what it was for. So, okay, I need to move this, sorry. So some of my personal value that I discovered in this process was authenticity, generosity, integrity, mindfulness, freedom, gratitude to be alive, to have like a second chance, kindness, harmony, graciousness, aliveness. I think that we take for granted to be alive, and when our life stops, like in a blink of an eye, we realize, and I realized, and being alive was such a privilege, and I took so many things for granted in my life. creative living became very important. Being grounded, being of service to other people outside of my family, like being more involved in my community, leading my life with my heart. I think I was really in my head. I'm still in my head, but it's much better. Wholeness. One of my desires is to ease and flow. This is one of my motto in life. I hustled for many years in my recovery, and I'm done with this. Like, I really want to invite ease and flow and trust to be part of this journey of discovery. It's definitely a personal growth process, and I'm very happy about that. Abundance and being an explorer. I feel like, like that is an amazing opportunity for me to discover who I am and who I could become at this stage in my life. The emotion tapestry. So sorry, I need to move this in order to be able to read. So at the time after I had the brain injury, I was very close emotionally. I was guarded. I always said, and for 48 years, I wore a straitjacket. So I learned to name my emotion, to accept them, and to let them go through me. It was not always like that before, and I was very reluctant to start to open up, at this section of my life. I'm so grateful for my psychiatrist, who really was an amazing man, who invited me to feel safe and to feel comfortable to open up with him and to start to unwrap some of these emotions that was inside of me, from past trauma and also from the situation that I was going through. Unfortunately, through this process, I will say my husband was not very involved. And at the time, as I said, my young one was 14 years old. So her life has changed tremendously through this process. So I felt that I was going through this journey mostly alone, which was very surprising and also very deceiving at times. In this process, I believe that it was the beginning of my spiritual awakening. So spiritually became very a predominant aspect of my life, and still up to these days, it's something that comforts me, and it's something that is very important for me. So spirituality involved the recognition of a feeling that there is something greater than myself, and that the greater whole of which we are part is cosmic or divine nature. So for me, I always said the universe, I'm not necessarily a religious person, but I believe that there's something greater than myself that is there to guide me and to support me and to assist me and protect me in my day-to-day life. And that has made a huge contribution in my healing journey. I need to move. So in this journey, this is a journey of wholeness. And I feel that often we speak a lot about the physical part, because most of us who are going through a brain injury, we have a lot of physical pain, and emotionally, we are going through ups and downs. But at this moment in my life, I am really interested to come back to the concept of wholeness. So, and it's the state of forming a complete and harmonious whole and unity. So for me, harmony is extremely important. And it's a process of many steps that we take in order to better ourselves in various aspects of our life. So I feel that I am visiting and revisiting these 4 aspects that I've been exploring in my healing journey, the emotional, the physical, the intellectual, and the spiritual. And for me, in this journey, I also realized that, not everything is going to move forward at the same time. So sometimes I'm dedicating time, or energy, or I'm pursuing, assessing my emotional state. While I'm doing that, I don't feel that I make such a leap of progress in my physical or in my spiritual. So I love to compare this healing journey as an onion. So I feel that, then I am peeling layers after layers after layers. And I revisit some of these concepts, like like grief or abandonment, or like physically, like it could be like sometimes I feel like I still have a few part of my body that still what caused me pain. It's nothing compared to where it was, but sometimes I forget, and it's kind of like lessen, and at some point it come back and it's more predominant. So it's not, as we know, it's not like a linear process. I'm my healing team. For me, I believe that I will never be where I am today if I didn't not ask, and if I didn't go to find support and find insight and find some guidance. So when I had my accident, I was already seeing a chiropractor, my chiropractor Jeff, for an injury that I had prior to having the brain injury, and he was the first person that I connected with to really say, hey, I have I have a concussion. I know nothing about this. I don't know where to start. And most of my practitioners were holistic. I believe for myself that that it was very important to look at some people who were able to see myself with the eyes of seeing at the whole picture. I was not necessarily interested to take medication at the time. I will say I've done most of my recovery without medication. I took it when it was really highly recommended, but I was very reluctant. And I respect everyone's choices, but I'm also I also believe because I choose this path, then I was maybe able to heal differently in so many ways. So as you could read, so chiropractor, registered massage therapist, for me, cranial massage was really something that I enjoy. Maybe a year and a half after I had the brain injury. Chinese acupuncturist, osteopath, naturopath, homeopath, somatic therapist. I have done art therapy. I was seeing a psychiatrist a few months after I had the brain injury. A healer, a holistic nutritionist. I'm working with one actually to help me to kind of maybe get to the root cause of what is the issue, because I also believe that almost 9 years later, there was something that was not addressed by the medical side that is still inside of me. So as I said, I made tremendous progress, but I'm sure there is something that I overlook, and I really want to close the gap between the brain injury and being I'll say brain injury free. This is my desire. This is what I believe. I'm seeing a reflexologist, and I've seen many other practitioners over the last 9 years. At some point, I saw a cardiologist and a neurologist because I had an episode last year when I kind of lost consciousness for 12 months. 12 hours, not 12 months, 12 hours. And it just became out of the blue, and we were not able to really assess what it was. So I did some medical investigation. And I also believe then we co-create with the universe. For me, it has been one of the most wonderful and magical experience in my healing journey to be able to trust and to come in this journey with curiosity and an eagerness also to heal and to get better. And I had my family, my friend, and my loved one. And as you may know, we need to be gentle with our healing, and we start over again and again to pursue this process. So Lex, is there some question? Would you like to take a break at this moment, or I keep going?
There's nothing in the chat as far as questions. I think
Okay.
agreeance to some of your comments there. If anyone has a question, if you want to quickly type it into the chat, I would be happy to read it out for you.
If not, we could pursue, and I could answer a question at the end, whatever, like, you know what, I just wanted to
Absolutely. Yep, I think you're okay to continue here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So in this process, like gratitude became something very important. Like, as I mentioned, I realized, like, you know, like that being alive was a gift. It's a gift. And having this accident, I said it's a blessing in disguise for me, because without it, I'm not sure that I will be standing here. I'm not sure where my path will have been. And I think, like, you know, I discovered so many amazing insight inside of me, and so many gifts. And there's so many things that I don't even know yet. So for me, being grateful is a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. And I would like to invite you to reflect on what do you have to be grateful for. So writing every day, like, you know, something that you are grateful for, the little things and the big ones. As I said, I think that we take for granted, like, you know, what we have in our life, like, you know, to be able to have all the commodity, but also our body, like, to have eyes, like, you know, that allow us to see the world, like, you know, to have our sense of smell, of taste, of hearing, our heart that is connected without us doing anything. So it might seem like very non-essential, but I think that when we start to look at all of this, like, we realize that, you know, there is so many things to be grateful for. And one thing that I would say, like, I had someone very special in my life who really showed me how appreciation is so important. And I've experienced it, like, from him, like how he was very generously, like, you know what, saying what he was seeing in me, like, you know, like the quality or what he admired about me. And I was thinking, but, you know, yes, you're saying that, you're saying I'm successful, but for me, I only see someone who's at home, who's not working, and who's been healing for the last 7 years. This is what I've done. So how could I be successful? How do you perceive, like, you know what, that I am a successful person? So I listened to his, like, you know, to his explanation, and like over and over again, every time that we were meeting, it was being able to say, like, you know, to me, what he saw in me, then maybe I was not capable of seeing, because I was also, like, you know, still in my mind of, okay, I'm not, like, not contributing like everyone else. I'm not exactly, like, not where I wanted to be. And I realized that his appreciation of me made me also want to appreciate people in my life, and becoming more generous with my compliments. And I started to see and notice the impact that it had on them as well. So I think it's very important for me to be open and to be vulnerable, and not wait, like, you know, that someone is going to die to say to them in their eulogy how magnificent and how extraordinary they were. So I think it's a great lesson for me that I had. Okay, next slide. Self-care. So there is no recipe, no formula, no guidebook for self-care. Which each have a guide. That guide is within us. We need to ask ourselves this question: what do I need to do to take loving, responsible care of myself today? So as a busy mom of 2 children, self-care was certainly not part of my practice pre-concussion. And I think, like, you know what, that it invited me. I love the word invited me, instead, like, you know what, I had to, or this is something that I need to do. Like, I love the word invitation, because an invitation for me is joyous, and you have a choice. You have a choice to accept the invitation or to refuse the invitation. So self-care like could be like, you know, like taking a break, could be like sitting on my balcony, like, you know, it could be like, you know, to sit and close my eyes and, you know, just reflect on my day. Could be eating like a piece of chocolate, looking at my photos, and like calling my sister, or, you know, taking a walk, going outside and walking in nature. So could be anything that brings you like, you know, a joy and contentment and kind of an appease, like it appease you. Pre-injury, I will say I was not very kind with myself. I was talking very harshly. I was very perfectionist. I wanted to have everything up to a certain standard. I wanted that for myself, but for everyone around me. And in this journey, being kind with myself, like being like not able to develop this sense of self-love and self-compassion, also understanding that, you know, no day is the same, or I could be okay like not at 11 a.m. but be like in big like not pain at 2 o'clock, and whatever like what I was planning to do, I need to kind of stop at some point and take care of myself and honor my need. And also to speak, like today I am able to speak to myself with very kind words, with gentleness and loving words, things that will not have been like not even imaginable before, because I will have probably beat myself. I will have been very harsh and very yeah, like, you know, like there was no other way. So, and also words have energy. So I'm a writer. So for me, words are very powerful and very meaningful. So, and I put here, like, you know what, like words, and we use all the time. And for me, they like, I came to the realization that words like I should, I need, I can't, I really felt the heaviness on my body when I said, oh, I should do this, or I should have done this, so I need to do this. So I started to realize too, is it really true? Do I really need to use these words who are coming from a language of fear or lack? Instead, I could choose words who are lighter, like I can't, I won't, I am willing, I choose, I desire. Like for me, those words are more inviting. They're like, you know, they're coming from a language of love, but also from a language of possibility. Like, you know, it's less restrictive. So I feel when I start to say, oh, I should, or I need to, I say, no, like, you know what, this is not the way to go. At least, like, you know, this is part of my healing process. For a long time, I will say probably probably for the first 7 years of my healing journey, it was go, go, go. I wanted to arrive to the finish line. I wanted to be finished. I wanted to be over this brain injury. And it was extremely exhausting, extremely draining. And joy was certainly not part of the process. Joy was very far away. And I remember working with a lady, and she said, hey, for how many years did you have your brain injury? I said 7. She said, for 7 years you have focused on everything in your journey, your body, everything that didn't work. What do you think it will do if you start to focus on what is going well for you? And how could you nurture joy in your day to help you to go through your day, maybe with lightness or with like a different approach? So, and I started to ask myself, what brings me joy? What is it in my life that I could do now that I'm by myself? I don't have my children. I don't have a husband. What is it that brings me joy? So I was on a quest to discover that, and also to implement this joy this joyous moment early in my day. So I started to go and walk in the forest, like early after having had my breakfast, like maybe for an hour or something like that. And I discovered how recharged, how nourished, how like alive I was becoming after spending some time in nature by myself or some time with friends. And I was always like, so joyous when I come back, and I was also observing nature. So there was something very calm and very quiet for me, going into nature. Through this recovery process, I started also to write. This is something that brought me joy. And I started as well to paint. So those three activities were like, at the heart of my journey, and especially in the morning when I was like, starting my day. And by doing like this, I would say this joyous and nurturing process at the beginning of the day, it really make a difference. So I felt that it nourished my soul. And that was something really big for me in this recovery process. I became a beauty seeker. So I find this, I would love you to. So in this process of healing, I started to be able to look at little details like the bees on the flowers, the cloud, the drop of water was just suspended from a leaf. Everything around me, like what became some amplified, like the beauty became like much like important, much visible for me. And I started to take picture and post like what my experience or my adventure on social media. And like beauty for me is essential. It's not a luxury, and I'm talking about physical beauty, but I believe that when we start to be able to notice the beauty outside by doing this process more consciously, I also became able to look at my own beauty, like my internal beauty, and I'm also more alert or more interested to learn about the beauty of people around me. So I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to bring beauty, like at the forefront of our life. And I think like by doing things like that is important for us, like and for me is beauty. It's like it's part of the healing process. Quote, maxim, and inspiration words. So if you had come to my house after I had the brain injury, I started to post in my living space, especially in my kitchen, or like mostly in my kitchen. And even now, I have quote all around my space. Here are some of my favorites. I will win, not immediately, but definitively. I am always supported. Love, peace, and joy are what I know. I radiate strength and courage. I live in harmony in a state of gracefulness and gratitude. I place no limits or restriction on all that I intend to accomplish and become from now on. I joyously run forward to create life's wonderful experiences. I choose to live through the open space in my heart. I used to say to my son that I don't know what my life or what my process would have been without having these guided words around me. I felt that it nourished me. It helped me to stay focused. My focus is always on my healing, of getting better, on closing the gap, and on creating a beautiful life for myself and for the people who are in my life. I don't believe that because I have a brain injury, my life is over and I should just be content and not trying to kind of pursue my dream. I'm a big believer of dreaming, of setting like, you know what, intention and making little steps to move forward towards our dreams and our goal. In this process, I become like, you know what, I develop my curiosity. I think curiosity is a beautiful quality to possess. Curiosity for me is the opposite of judgment. I have to say, like, even though I don't really like this aspect in me, I was extremely judgmental about myself and about other people. This process humbled me. This process, like, you know, make me realize that every one of us is going through something in our life. I don't always know by looking at someone what they are going through, what is their mental state, what is the challenge they are facing. I've been like, I felt and going through my own journey, I have like, you know, I have a very different perception of other people, and being curious, I think it's something very important. So I would like to invite you to start dreaming about your wildest dream. Like, start to dream like unimaginable, like, you know, a dream, not logical, because when we start to dream bigger and to go out of our comfort zone, this we could be surprised. Again, like for me, like the universe, like, you know what, serendipity, everything, the synchronistic, like, you know what, events happen for me all the time. I just need to, like, you know what, I just need to pursue, like, you know what, and to stay in this kind of vibration state. So when you start dreaming, like, create a vivid image in your mind, add as much detail as possible, use all your senses, and write down your ideal life. What is your life? What do you desire? What is your wishes? And how long it's going to take, it's not important. And how it's going to happen is certainly not like you know what, of that much importance as I used to think. Like, you know what, I used to feel, how am I going to do this? And now I'm saying, okay, I just need to do one step, to do the next step. And when I'm going to be there, I'm going to see, like, you know what needs to be done, like, you know, and I'm not doing this alone. I'm doing this, like, you know what, with the co-creation, and also like I could ask for help. And you know, I think it gives me like a lot of like a better, like, you know what, understanding about myself, and also about, like, you know, what is possible. Because if I think that I need to do everything by myself, like, I'm like most of you, like, I will prefer just to sit on my couch and not do that much. So, and I would like to invite you to start to talk abundantly about your desired state, and looking for the invisible support and the synchronistic events like that is happening for you all the time in your life. I feel like then when we are like working, like, you know what, in harmony with what we want, what is in our heart, and what we are in synchronicity with, things start to happen, and we stop, or we speak less about what is not going well, or what are all the negativity in our life. And also, like, we start to attract different kind of people who are coming to support us. Sometimes we need to let go of people in our life who were there before, but, you know, as we evolve and as we change and as we grow, sometimes these people are not, like, you know, on the same vibration than us, and sometimes we just need to let them go, and, you know, and continue, like, also, like, you know, trusting that other people are going to come to support us as we move forward. So we are all creative beings. Hey, Google, stop. Sorry. My Google wanted to say something. So from May 2013 until now, this is some of my gifts that have, like, you know, emerged, and some of them I'm not, like, I don't know who are these gifts, like, you know, then are waiting, like, you know what, to surface. So I started to write after having the brain injury. Like, my journal became my confidant. I felt that I had not really anyone very close to me where I could, like, you know, share this journey, this awful pain, these sorrows, these thoughts that, you know what, that were very negative and very paralyzing. So I started to write in my journal. So it became very therapeutic for me. I started to share my journey of having a brain injury on social media in 2017 because I felt that it was very important to raise awareness. As you know, many of us, we look like similar to what we were before, and but inside of us, there's something that is not exactly the same. We're not broken. I'm not broken. I'm just different. And I would like people to be like, to have the curiosity to see like who I am right now, and also to give me an opportunity or a chance to demonstrate what I am capable of doing, even if I have a brain injury. In 2021, I started to write blogs for brain injury associations, and I am an aspiring author. So I'm already working on co-writing 2 books. And I know I will have many books, in the near future. In this journey, I also started to give talks to Brain Injury Association to raise awareness in my community about what it is to live with a brain injury. In 2017, I started a concussion support group in Oakville. It's been growing slowly, but steadily. And into this process, I started to explore art, painting, doing mixed media. That was my psychiatrist who invited me to find a medium, to express what it was inside. And I'm so grateful for his suggestion. Last year, I participated in 2 virtual art exhibits with different brain injury association. And this year, again, I'm going to participate, but this time is going to be not in person, but my art are going to be displayed, if not in some office or some restaurant or some business in Toronto in June for Brain Injury Month. And I call myself a beauty connoisseur because I feel that that I've learned a lot about beauty, and I would love to pursue this desire of mine to bring beauty and to invite people to become a seeker, beauty seeker. So if you are interested, you could follow me on my Instagram, Ascending by Your Side 65. This is my LinkedIn profile and my email address. I would love to hear from you. I really believe that together we could do great things, and we could progress faster. So I thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to share my story. And if you have a question, I am going to try to answer them. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, France. It was very inspirational, and we appreciate you sharing your journey with us. I will just stop the recording here, and then we'll open up the floor